What? You needed another example of the quadratic formula? Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to use the quadratic formula to solve this expression right here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to establish that my a value is -2, my b value is 8, anytime now, and my c value is 5. It's going to write 5 under 5. That would have been really helpful. So let's plug in those values into the quadratic formula, which we have written here. Please check out an earlier video to listen to me sing it. So we end up with -8 plus or minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4 times my a value times my c value all over to a. All right, so we're going to be left with our -8 plus or minus the square root. 8 squared is 64. -4 times -2 is positive 8. Positive 8 times 5 is going to be positive 40. And that's all over 4, -4, because a negative times a positive is a negative. So then, well, we have to combine these numbers. 64 plus 40 is going to be 104. So we have -8 plus or minus the square root of 100 times 4 divided by -4. At this point, we know we're going to have an irrational number, so we are actually going to have to give our irrational answer in the simplest radical form, and then we'll get the decimal equivalent. So I'm going to head up here. The square root of 104 can be broken apart as the square root of 4 times the square root of, well, 4 goes into 10 twice with 2 left over. Goes into 24 6 times with nothing left over. Then 26 does not really have any square factors now, does it, folks? No. The square root of 4 is 2. I can't do anything with that. So 104, square root of 104 is equal to 2 times the square root of 26. All right, so let's bring that down here. And we're left with -8 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 104. Now it'd be really tempting, divided by -4. Now it'd be really tempting to leave the answer like this, but we can't, because I know that 2 is a common factor for all three of these numbers. So to reduce the fraction, I'd end up with, and the negative, I have to keep this negative. So we're going to have -8. Oh shoot, but 8 divided by 2 is not 8. 8 divided by 4, or 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we have -4 plus or minus 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we have the square root of, oh shoot, I'm making mistakes left and right, times the square root of 26 all over -2. Well, if you're feeling unsatisfied with that answer, and I totally appreciate that, we can also use the decimal equivalents. So let's go ahead and break it into positive world and negative land. I'm going to go back to my original right here, a little easy to work with. So we have -8 plus the square root of 104 divided by -4. In negative world, we have -8 minus the square root of 104 divided by -4. So let's go ahead and figure this out. The square root of 104 is 10.19. I'm going to keep those decimal places for a while, and I'm going to add to it -8. And so I get 2.198 blah blah blah. I'm going to divide that by 4, -4. And so I end up with -0.549, And we have been told to round to the nearest tenth. So 4 is less than 5, therefore we're just going to round down to negative 0.5. Over in the negative world, now this is going to be interesting, in the negative world we're going to get an answer that's bigger, because we have 104, the squirt of it, and that's a negative, and we're going to combine that with 8. And then we're going to divide by negative 4. And lo and behold, I get a positive answer of 4.549. We're rounding the nearest tenth. This is a 4. Therefore, we're rounding down to 4.5. And there's my 2 answers, both in simplest radical form as well as my decimal equivalent.